something really strange happened to a girl named Lena. And when she told the internet her story, half the people were furious at her father, and the other half said she should just accept it as a life lesson. But Lena insists she isn't being dramatic. She says she feels betrayed. Before I begin, if you love real-life stories full of unexpected twists, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It helps more than you know. Alright, let's go back to where everything began. Lena had been counting down the days until her 18th birthday. For her, turning 18 wasn't just about becoming an adult. It was about finally gaining independence. She lived in a small town called Riverbend, a place where buses barely ran and everyone relied on their own car. Without one, you were stuck depending on rides, asking for favors, and feeling like a kid forever. So when her father, Thomas, casually said one afternoon, "Hey, maybe I'll get you a car for your 18th birthday," her heart practically exploded with excitement. It wasn't a promise written in stone. He didn't hand her keys or point to a dealership. But the way he said it, the tone, it sounded like something he was planning. She replayed it in her mind dozens of times later. He even added, "I'll put around $5,000 into it. Nothing fancy, but something reliable." That sentence lived rent-free inside Lena's mind for weeks. From that moment on, everything changed. She imagined driving to school instead of waiting in the cold for her friend Emily to pick her up. She pictured blasting music, windows down, the freedom of going anywhere she wanted. This wasn't just a birthday gift, it was the symbol of her stepping into adulthood. And so, as months passed, she started planning. She picked up a seasonal job in December, gift wrapping at a holiday shop. The pay wasn't amazing, but she figured it would help with future gas, insurance, maybe new tires someday. Her dad, meanwhile, seemed almost proud of himself. He'd show her different used car listings on his phone. "See this one? Good mileage." Or, "Look, this one's got a brand new transmission." Lena took that as confirmation. Why would he be showing her ads for cars unless the plan was real? Every night she updated a list on her phone. Cars she liked, insurance quotes, registration fees. For the first time in her life, she felt like an adult making real decisions. And then, finally, it happened. 2 weeks before her birthday, her father came home jangling car keys between his fingers. He tossed them onto the kitchen table, not dramatically, not in a movie moment kind of way, more like he was tossing down a pack of gum. "There it is," he said. "Your car." Lena froze. Her mouth dropped open. She stared at the keys like they were made of gold. "Wait, really?" she breathed. He nodded, smiling like he had just given her the greatest surprise of her life. "It's outside. Go check it out." She ran. She practically flew through the front yard, ignored the cold wind stinging her face, rushed to the driveway. And there it was, a dusty turquoise sedan. Older, sure, but clean, well kept. And real. Her first car. She opened the door, sat inside, and inhaled deeply. It smelled like old air freshener and gasoline, and freedom. Something inside her chest bloomed like fireworks. She walked back inside, glowing. Her father grinned. "Happy early birthday," he said. She hugged him, hard. No amount of words could have expressed what it meant to her. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept unlocking her phone, scrolling through pictures she'd taken of the car. She even whispered "mine" under her breath, testing how it felt, and it felt perfect. She had no idea that within days, that joy would turn into confusion, then anger, then heartbreak. A few nights later, her dad tapped on her bedroom door. "Hey," he said casually, "we should talk numbers for paying me back." Her smile slowly faded. What? For the car. Her brain glitched, like someone had unplugged her thoughts. Pay you back? She repeated. He nodded patiently, like this was all completely normal. Yeah, $5,000, nothing crazy. You can just give me a little each week. Lena laughed. Like, actually laughed, because she genuinely thought he was joking. But his face didn't change. He looked absolutely serious. And that's when she felt something cold crawl up her spine. Dad, I thought the car was a gift. It is, he said. Kinda. I mean, it's for your birthday, but you should earn it. You'll appreciate it more. She stared at him. It made no sense. How was it a gift if she had to buy it from him? She tried to clarify. So, you're lending me money? Not exactly. He shrugged. Think of it like a life lesson. Those two words made her stomach twist. A life lesson. You're 18 now, he added. Time to learn responsibility. Responsibility. That word echoed in her head all night like an alarm she couldn't turn off. This wasn't about responsibility. This felt like a trap. She sat in her room later, calculator open on her phone, trying to figure out if she could even afford payments. She worked only a couple months each year. She still had school, and she had been saving her money for college deposits, not for paying back a car she didn't technically ask for. Every number she typed brought the same conclusion. She couldn't do it. Not without draining every dollar she had. Not without feeling like the gift she loved had turned into chains around her neck. She didn't sleep that night either. But this time, it wasn't excitement keeping her awake. It was dread. She finally confronted her dad 2 days later. I can't pay you back, she said. I thought this was my birthday present. Her dad sighed dramatically, like she was the unreasonable one. You're missing the point. It's not about the money. It's about learning to stand on your own feet. Oh, she said flatly. So to teach me independence, you gave me something and then told me I owe you $5,000? He frowned. You just don't understand yet. No, she said sharply, anger rising like a flame. I do understand. You said you'd buy me a car. Then you changed the rules after giving it to me. It's still yours, he insisted. I'm not taking it back. But now the car didn't feel like freedom anymore. It felt like guilt on wheels. That night, Lena made a decision that even surprised herself. She walked outside, sat in the car, stared at the steering wheel, and whispered, I don't want this anymore. She didn't cry, not yet, but something inside her chest sank down so deep, it felt like grief. The next morning, she told her dad, Fine, keep the car. I'm not paying for something that was supposed to be a gift. He stared at her like she had slapped him. Are you serious? Dead serious. He scoffed. You're being ungrateful. Ungrateful. That word hurt more than she expected. Because she had been grateful. She had loved that car. She had bragged to her friend Emily about it. She had even thanked him with tears in her eyes. All of that was real, but now it meant nothing. Over the next few days, the house turned quiet. Her father barely spoke to her. When he did, his tone was always thick with irritation. He told relatives that Lena refused responsibility. He made himself look generous and her look spoiled. Lena kept silent. She could have argued. She could have defended herself. But what was the point? No one had been there when he first said the words, I'll get you a car for your birthday. No one but her knew the truth. And so, one night, heart pounding, she finally turned to the only place she felt like she could be heard without being talked over. The internet. She typed everything from beginning to end. She asked one simple question: "Am I wrong for refusing to pay my dad back for the car he said was a gift?" She expected maybe 3 responses, a couple strangers giving generic advice. Instead, thousands of people replied. Her post exploded. Some called her father manipulative. Others said what he did was basically emotional bait and switch. One person wrote, "That's not a gift, that's a trap." Another said, "He bought himself a car and wants you to finance it." Still, a few people disagreed. They said Lena should just pay him, call it a lesson, and move on. But the majority sided with her, and that should have made her feel better. But it didn't, because the real problem wasn't the internet. It was home, the silent tension, the cold stares, the feeling that her father had broken something far more valuable than a promise about a car. He had broken trust. Now, with her birthday only a week away, all Lena feels is dread. Not excitement, not joy, just a deep ache where happiness used to be. And what she doesn't realize yet is that this car situation is just the beginning. Something much bigger is coming. Something that will force her to question everything she believes about family, love, and what a gift truly means. But before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It helps the channel and lets me keep bringing you stories like this. Lena never expected a used car to turn into a silent war inside her own home. Every morning felt heavier than the one before. She would walk into the kitchen and find her father sitting with his coffee, scrolling through his phone, pretending she didn't exist. Sometimes he spoke, short, sharp, cold. "Trash goes out today. Don't leave the lights on." Not a single word about the car, not a single normal conversation. The strange quiet stretched through the house like fog. Even the sound of running water or someone closing a door felt loud in the new tension. Her birthday was approaching like a storm. The one thing she had always looked forward to, the day she'd finally be recognized as an adult, now felt like a countdown to something awful. By the time her birthday was 3 days away, Lena couldn't take it anymore. She went outside and sat inside the turquoise sedan, not because she wanted it, but because she needed to sit somewhere that didn't feel poisoned. She closed the door, hugged the steering wheel, and let herself whisper the truth. Why does this hurt so much? The seat creaked. The cold air seeped into her clothes. And then, unexpectedly, she cried. Not loud sobs, not angry ones, just quiet tears that slid down her cheeks and vanished into her sweater. She wasn't crying over the car. She was crying because she had always believed that her father, at the very least, would never manipulate her. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't supposed to be this. She had defended him for years. Every time someone said he was controlling, every time her aunt whispered, "Thomas always does things on his terms." Lena had always said, "He just wants what's best." Now she wasn't so sure. That weekend, her friend Emily noticed something was wrong. They were sitting at their usual diner, Lena stirring a milkshake she barely drank. "You're quiet," Emily said. "Too quiet." Lena hesitated. Then she told her everything. The promise, the surprise, the debt, the guilt trip, all of it. Emily's reaction was instant. "What? He made you think it was a gift and then changed the rules?" Lena nodded. "Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe it was my fault for getting excited." "No," Emily said firmly. "A gift is a gift. You don't pay for gifts." For the first time in days, Lena felt something warm validation. Someone finally saying out loud what she had felt all along. Then Emily leaned back in the booth, narrowed her eyes thoughtfully, and asked a question Lena did not expect. "Do you think the car is even in your name?" Lena blinked. "What?" "Well, if it's a gift, the paperwork should be under you, right? Insurance? Ownership?" Lena froze. She hadn't even checked. The only thing she'd seen were keys. Her father had never handed her documents, never showed her anything official. A thought slowly crawled across her mind, chilling her blood. What if the car wasn't hers at all? That night, Lena searched the glove compartment. Registration, Thomas Carter. Insurance, Thomas Carter. Her name was nowhere. It hit her like a punch. This wasn't her car, not legally, not on paper, not even emotionally anymore. Suddenly, everything made sense. The lesson, the request for payments, the strange casual tone. He hadn't given her a car. He had bought himself one and tried to make her feel indebted for it. She walked into the house, holding the papers in her shaking hands. "Dad," she said. He barely looked up. "You never put the car in my name." "So?" he replied. "You haven't paid for it yet." Everything inside her went silent. A numbness washed over her, deeper than anger. "You planned this, didn't you?" He stood slowly. "Planned what?" "You made me think it was a present, kept it in your name, and now you're acting like I owe you money for something that isn't even mine." He crossed his arms. "Are you done?" She stared at him. Her father, the man who had raised her, looked like a stranger. Something inside her broke for real this time. "I don't trust you anymore," she whispered. His jaw twitched. "Well, then maybe you're not ready to be an adult." She walked away. She didn't yell, didn't argue. Because what was the point of arguing with someone who changed the rules whenever it suited him? For the next 2 days, she said nothing to him. She didn't even look at the car. She walked to school. She took buses. She pretended it didn't exist. Every time she saw the keys sitting on the counter, she felt sick. Then came her birthday. She woke up to silence. No card, no hug. Just the distant sound of her father leaving for work. Her phone had messages. Emily sent a long voice note. Her cousin texted emojis and a GIF. Her grandmother called and left a sweet voicemail. But from her father, nothing. She sat on her bed in pajamas, staring at the wall, feeling both numb and strangely calm. She thought maybe the day would just quietly pass. She'd go to school, come back home, eat dinner alone, and maybe that was fine. She didn't need cake. She didn't need balloons. She just wanted peace. But peace wasn't in the plans, because after school, something was waiting on her pillow. Something that made her stomach twist with dread. It was a white envelope, no handwriting, just her name printed by a computer. Inside, there was a typed letter. "Since you have refused to take responsibility for the vehicle purchased for you, I will be selling it. This will not be discussed further." Signed, Dad. She sat there, note in hand, staring at the words. Selling it? He already decided. No conversation, no final chance, just punishment. That night, she fell asleep feeling like a ghost inside her own life. The next morning, the car was gone. Just gone. No goodbye, no explanation, like it had never existed at all. Her dad didn't mention it. He ate cereal, read the news, drove to work. Lena sat at the table, staring at the empty driveway through the window, and realized something brutal. Her father hadn't bought the car for her. He had used the idea of giving her something to control her, and when she refused the terms, he simply removed it. Punishment disguised as life lesson. Her birthday ended with no celebration. No dinner, no conversation. Just the echo of tires rolling away forever. A week passed. Then 2. Life returned to a strange version of normal. But something in Lena was different, harder, stronger. She stopped trying to please him, stopped waiting for an apology. She got rides from friends, took buses again, walked when she needed to. And every day, the guilt got a little smaller, while the truth got louder. She had done nothing wrong. But then, one night, something happened that would shatter even that fragile balance. She heard arguing downstairs, her father's voice, deep, angry, tense. She tiptoed toward the hallway, listened, then froze. He wasn't yelling at her. He was yelling on the phone. "I had a buyer until the mechanic found the engine problems. I can't get anything near $5,000 for it now." Lena's lungs stalled. Engine problems? Her heart started pounding as the truth crashed into her. The car wasn't worth $5,000. Maybe it wasn't worth even half. Maybe her father knew that. Maybe the whole pay me back slowly plan was never about teaching responsibility. Maybe it was a way to quietly dump a bad purchase on her. She clutched her mouth. Her legs trembled. She walked backward toward her room, pulse racing. And that night, she wrote everything down in a private file, dates, details, quotes, her own memories. Not for revenge, not for pity, but because deep inside, she finally understood something she'd never wanted to believe. Her father was capable of lying. Not just bending the truth, not just teaching lessons, but lying deliberately to his own daughter. The following morning, he acted normal, made toast, wore a tie, whistled a little. Lena walked past him without a word, and for the first time in her life, she didn't feel guilty for it. She packed her backpack, grabbed her coat, and headed for the door. Her father said, "Do you need a ride?" She paused, then, without looking at him, replied quietly, "No, I don't need anything from you." She walked out. The door clicked closed behind her, but something in her heart slammed shut forever. And she still doesn't know it yet. But this car situation isn't finished. Not even close. Because the person her father sold the car to, the amount he actually got for it. And what happens when Lena learns the full truth? Those choices are going to lead to a confrontation that will leave her father speechless and force Lena to decide what family means to her now. For weeks, Lena thought the story of the car was over. She assumed it was done. The gift that wasn't a gift. The silence. The disappointment her father selling the car without a single moment of apology. She thought she had processed it, that she had moved on. But the universe had one more twist waiting. It started on an ordinary afternoon. Lena was walking home from school, headphones in, backpack over one shoulder, when she saw something familiar out of the corner of her eye. A turquoise sedan. Her turquoise sedan. She froze. There it was, parked crookedly outside a small mechanic shop 2 blocks from her neighborhood. At first, she told herself it wasn't the same car. There were hundreds of old sedans in the world. It was probably just a coincidence. But something inside her, a quiet instinct, whispered, "That's it." She walked toward it slowly, like approaching a sleeping animal. The faded paint, the tiny dent near the taillight, the scratch on the mirror. It was the same car. She felt her pulse quicken. She stepped closer and noticed a piece of paper on the dashboard, a mechanic's intake sheet. She leaned forward. Her eyes scanned the words. Owner name, Patrick Lewis. Patrick, not her father, not her. The repairs listed below were long. Engine compression failure, Oil leak, electrical fault, brake line corrosion. Total estimated repair cost, $3,420. Lena's mouth fell open. $3,400. Suddenly, she heard her father's voice from that phone call she'd overheard. "I can't get anything near $5,000 for it now." The truth hit her like ice water. He hadn't meant he couldn't get the price he wanted because buyers were stingy. He meant the car was damaged, and whoever tried to buy it discovered the truth. He had tried to make her pay him back $5,000 for a car that wasn't even worth fixing. Not only had he changed the rules, he had tried to make her unknowingly pay off his mistake. Lena's jaw clenched. She didn't cry. She didn't tremble. Something colder settled inside her. Resolve. She walked into the shop. Inside, a tired-looking mechanic in a gray shirt wiped his hands on a towel. "Can I help you?" "That car outside," she said. "The turquoise sedan. Is that yours?" He nodded. "Bought it from a guy a few weeks ago. Thought I got a decent deal." Lena's mouth went dry. Was his name Thomas Carter? The mechanic blinked in surprise. "You know him?" She nodded slowly. "He's my father." The mechanic let out a low whistle. "Then I'm sorry, kid. Your dad sold me a problem on wheels." Lena swallowed. Did he know it was damaged?" The mechanic sighed. "I can't say what he knew, but I can tell you I found things no decent seller would miss." He tapped the paper. "This isn't normal wear and tear. This is the kind of thing you fix before selling, or you tell the buyer." Lena felt something inside her break, but it wasn't sadness this time. It was the last remaining thread of belief that maybe her father hadn't meant to hurt her. She walked home with steady steps. She wasn't rehearsing what to say. She wasn't crying. She was done defending him, even in her own mind. When she stepped inside, her father was eating dinner at the table. Chicken, steamed vegetables. The same plate she had eaten from 100 times as a child. He looked up. "Oh," he said casually, "you're home." For a moment, she just stared. Not at the food, not at his expression. She was looking at the man who taught her to ride a bike, who carried her when she was sick, who told her countless times that he loved her. And yet somehow, he had also become the man who would manipulate her, lie to her, and hide behind the idea of lessons, whenever it suited him. That contradiction burned. But she didn't yell. She walked over, pulled out a chair, sat down across from him. "I saw the car," she said quietly. Her father's fork paused midair. "What car?" "The turquoise sedan. The one you claimed you bought for me." His jaw tightened. "I told you I sold it." "No," she said calmly. "You dumped it on someone else. Someone who discovered the damage you never mentioned." His face flushed red. "I don't know what you think you heard." "I saw the repair sheet," she interrupted. $3,400 in problems. You tried to make me pay $5,000 for a car that needed almost that much in repairs just to be safe." Silence. Thick. Heavy. Like a wall made of air. Her father finally spoke. "You're exaggerating." "No," she said. "I'm just done letting you twist things." His eyes narrowed. "What exactly are you accusing me of?" She met his gaze without flinching. "You used the car as a way to control me. When that didn't work, you tried to guilt me. Then, when I refused, you dumped a broken car on someone else and pretended it was a lesson in responsibility." He slammed his fork down. "Watch your tone." "No," she said. "I won't." Her voice didn't shake. That surprised them both. Lena stood up. "You don't get to talk about responsibility when you won't take any yourself." She turned toward the hallway, then stopped. And quietly, without anger, just truth, She said, "People online told me a gift with conditions is just a debt disguised as kindness. I didn't believe them at first, but they were right." Then she walked away. She didn't hear him follow, didn't hear him apologize. She heard nothing, which she realized was exactly what she expected now. That night, Lena couldn't sleep, but not out of pain. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, feeling something strange and unfamiliar. Relief. Not because everything was solved, it wasn't. Not because things were fixed with her father, they weren't. But because for the first time, she had chosen herself. She wasn't trying to win approval, wasn't begging to be understood, wasn't waiting for someone to do the right thing. She had put a line in the sand and stepped over it. And once you do that, you don't go back. Life didn't magically repair itself after that. Her father stayed distant for weeks. He spoke to her when he had to, short, clipped sentences, but Lena noticed something. She no longer shrank under the silence. She no longer panicked, wondering if she should apologize just to make things easier. The guilt was gone, because she finally understood something painful but freeing. A parent's love means nothing if it demands obedience instead of honesty. 3 months passed. Lena finished school, took another seasonal job, saved every dollar. She learned how to compare car listings herself, how to read VIN reports. She watched videos about inspecting used engines, not because she was desperate to prove a point, but because she wanted to be prepared when she earned her freedom. Her way. One evening, she came home with a small stack of printed papers. Her father was in the living room. She stopped in the doorway. "I'm buying a car," she said, "with my money, in my name." He didn't look up. Good. She waited. For approval, for sarcasm, for anything. He said nothing. So she simply nodded once and walked away, and that was enough. 2 weeks later, she stood beside a silver hatchback that ran quietly and smoothly. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't expensive. But when she held the paperwork in her hands, and her name was printed under owner, she smiled, a real smile, the kind that comes from someplace deep and strong. She slid behind the wheel, turned the key. The engine hummed, and she whispered one quiet sentence. "This one is mine." Months later, she would look back and realize the most important part wasn't losing the first car or even buying the second one. It was learning that love without respect is not love at all. That sometimes the hardest part of growing up is seeing someone you trusted clearly and choosing to move forward anyway. A gift that comes with invisible chains is not generosity, it is control. Wearing a smile. Real love doesn't keep score. It doesn't dangle help like bait. If someone punishes you for setting boundaries, they were never offering kindness, only ownership. Choosing yourself doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you free. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends.